I don't think anyone had on their Elestriad bingo card that MBT and Mario Gaming World would be 0-2 to start this season. But here we are, and these two are looking to bounce back in an epic clash. Don't forget to check out Elestriad.com for the latest updates and standings. With 12 new packs to open, Mario looks to complement his Earth deck and hits a Chains of Prometheus and a Paleoth. Not much here, but he's already sitting good with 3 Viscerus.
What I'm looking for here is pretty specifically Lavalith, or Race to the Top. I still need a third copy of that. And then we will start pivoting to base, where I'm trying to get powerful counter runes like Tsunami. Avalanche, there's our third race, perfect. Bag of Winds. Ooh, that's a very pretty Sonicore. Very pretty Sonicore. Oh, yes, there's one.
Talk about some epic hits for MBT. Sonicore could be a game changer in the right scenario. I do wonder how MBT is feeling since he didn't pull a Lavalith.
Where is my Lavalith? Thank you.
Well, alrighty then, on to the trades for the week. MBT then makes a swap with his teammate and picks up a Volt Tempest and 2 Helios Chariot Ride. I'm really interested to hear what Mario's game plan will be. Let's listen in.
Alrighty, here is my week 3 plan. This week, I'm going to draw creatures. I'm going to draw actual creatures and not run out of creatures this time. And then I'm also going to draw back row to complement those creatures. That's what we're going to do this week. We're also going to blow up their back row with Equilinks. And we're going to get Viserys, and we're going to play more Viseryses. And if there's any stupid, pesky rabbits, I'm going to blow them up with an Earthquake. And that's my plan for week 3. That's all we're doing.
That's certainly a plan. I do think, much like last week, Equilinks is the key here. Demeter allows his Elestrals to power over MBT's defenders, and Rune Destruction is very powerful. MBT, on the other hand, is bringing Funglow and Brontoglow, 2 very interesting Elestrals that pair incredibly well with Thunderstorm, MBT's own rune removal. Keep an eye out on that Quackle as well, as its healing can be huge with all the spirits used by MBT's strategy. Earth versus Thunder. MBT's kicking this one off, and he's gonna go for the Astrabbit. Astrabbit's going to be giving him the effect to look at the top 3 cards of his deck, of course, and add 1 to hand and not reveal it. We've seen it time and time again. One of the most powerful Elestrals in the game, and it just enables the entire engine that is Thunder, which has so much consistency that many decks struggle to beat it. However, on Mario's side, he has so many things going in his favor. He has Viscerus, 3 copies of Viscerus. He has an Astrabbit of his own. We're gonna see a double rabbit to start this one off. He's got that Viscerus, like I mentioned, and he also has Demeter and Equilinks. Those are gonna be the key cards to watch in this one, as he's gonna be trying to take out that face down rune to prevent MBT from executing his strategy. Jolton hits the field here. That is going to provide stadium control for MBT, as he can now search out his Mount Olympus, of course, which lets him play Race to the Top, a key removal card within the Thunder element. And it's funny here to see it up against an Astrabbit, and perfectly called there. The Race to the Top activates and takes out the Astrabbit on Mario's side. Incredible start here for MBT. He's got to be feeling great with both Jolton and Astrabbit attacking forward and taking 2 spirits of damage from Mario Gaming World here in this early clash. But no, the Shield of Achilles bounces back the Jolton. A very interesting choice there, opting to force that back to his hand. That will give MBT another opportunity to search out a Mount Olympus later on in this clash. We'll see if that comes back to bite Mario. I think it was a matter of him wanting to make sure that he can attack over whatever comes out and try to get field control here. This plays really big for him. A lot of Thunder Elestrals in the early part of this clash. Elechic is so key, as now he can search out his Divine Rune Demeter, the Goddess of the Harvest. This card will enable the Nexus strategies with Equilinks, which again provides that incredible rune destruction. And don't forget, it also is there to power up Tectorus. Hitting over cards like Astrabbit are so crucial in this matchup. A shield of his own. MBT is going to bounce this Elechic back, and unfortunately, Mario is going to be left with no Elestrals in his Elestrals row going into this next turn. Not the worst place to be, but he was trying to get... Ooh, wait a minute. Here we go. We've got Sparkit hitting the field here, and that is going to be devastating for Mario, as Sparkit can provide some incredible amounts of pressure. Poison Tipped Arrow will keep it potentially at bay, as you can at least eliminate it at the end of the turn, and you're also going to make it so you don't want to Nexus onto it. But with MBT having Jolted in hand, he has a very free play here to Nexus over to Elestriad, and I feel like the whole tone of this clash just changed. Mario Gaming World is going to get his hand ripped to pieces right now, and MBT has freedom to take whatever he wants. The good news here for Mario is his hand actually has some comeback ability to it, right? Ramagem is going to be able to search the Equal Links again. He set the Demeter, it seems, so he didn't lose that. He's going to lose one of these cards, but it's not the end of this clash by any stretch of the imagination. He can still very much so pressure with a Ramagem and search that Equal Links out. It's going to delay him a little bit, but with that Poison Tipped Arrow, he'll be able to get rid of the Spark-It at the end of the turn, and he can at the very least pressure that Elestriad if MBT decides to leave it in attack position. I do think there's some value here to putting it into defense position if you're MBT, but at the same time, getting those 2 spirits of damage here are really, really big. Mario does respond with a shield that's massive. Wait a minute. Mario has all the tools he needs to try to climb back in this one, as the Shield of Achilles is going to bounce that rabbit back to MBT's hand. He obviously is gaining card advantage here with Elestriad's receive effect, but now Poison Tipped Arrow is going to clear the board, and while Mario looked like he was in a tough spot, he's actually climbing right back in this one, down a couple spirits, but Ramagem is going to get him right back where he wanted to be. That Equal Links will now be searched back out, added to his hand, and he can execute that strategy later while also getting a chip spirit of damage here, right? Like, there's no reason why Ramagem doesn't at the very least do 1 spirit of damage here. I don't think MBT is going to respond to this. There's not really a reason to do so. And now MBT is going to be back on the back foot, looking to gain some sort of field presence here. He's got no Elestrals on the field. We know he's got the rabbit. That's a really easy play for him to make. I don't even know if he needs to push forward, but he is going to go Elechick himself. Will we see a Gorgon's Gaze? It looks like no. Elechick is going to get that search to MBT's Divine Rune. Ooh, it's a Poison Tipped Arrow again. Mario is not messing around. He's throwing down all the Poison Tipped Arrows coming from his Earth starter decks that he started with. That is a key card in his deck to remove these Elestrals, paired with Earthquake. Super massive potential. But obviously, Elechick still is going to search out the Zeus. And while that's not super crucial on this turn, because Elechick is going to be able to attack over the Ramagem no matter what, actually, that Poison Tipped Arrow plays into part. So he is going to go for that Disenchant off of the Zeus. That ends up being really good for Mario in a couple ways. It would have been a crash otherwise, but he forces an extra spirit from MBT there just because of that. So that PTA ends up being an incredible trade for Mario, as he's now at 7 spirits up to MBT's 9 spirits, one of which he's got an extra on the field for his Zeus. Mario gonna draw for turn, looking for something offensive here. I think you probably just go Equal Links at this point, though. You have a very easy path to just play the Links and get out your Demeter and just pop one of those face down runes. There's so low risk here. The only question is, if you're Mario, is there any value to taking out the Zeus? I know that might sound a little crazy, but by taking out the Zeus, you give yourself at least a chance that Lynx can stay on the field for an additional turn. That's something to consider here, because you're going to load up this Demeter. You probably Nexus 1. I think there's a chance he Nexus 2, but we'll see what he goes for. He's going to go for the 1, so that's going to make it so if he does hit directly onto MBT, he'll do 2 damage, but I think this Equal Links is going to be exposed at the end of this turn, and that's where it's tough. He hits a Shield of Achilles, so you can't argue with that. He does hit a shield. That would have been massive. He would have gotten bounced anyway, so let's find out what MBT's face down is going to be. Is it going to be something like a Tsunami? He didn't use the Gorgon's Gaze, obviously, so we assume it's not that. And it's going to be 2 spirits taken from MBT as he looks to find a way to attack over this Equal Links. But don't forget, Zeus provides him that with that attack reduction. So Mario made definitely the right play, I think, in this scenario. But it's a tough scenario to be in because, again, MBT has that Jolton. He gets his Stadium back if he wants it. He's got the buff from Zeus that's going to ensure that Jolton can hit over it, but he doesn't even need it because of Mount Olympus. Jolton, just such a strong Elestral, being able to search its own stadium out, and that's just one of the many reasons why Thunder has been so dominant. But Mario definitely not out of this, right? An Ambrosia plus an Earthquake here could be massive. We know he's got at least a couple Earth Elestrals in his hand. We saw those Rumagems earlier. He's going to go Equal Links. This could be huge. If he takes down that face down rune here, and then he's able to attack and take out the Jolton, that could be massive. And honestly, he may not even need to go after that face down rune. I think there's some value here. He's going to go for the Nexus. Let's find out what he's going to take out. I think this is a tough call because We saw that face down rune wasn't used last turn. It makes me wonder if it's an Ambrosia. He does go for the Zeus. I actually agree with that play. I think that makes a lot of sense, especially since we didn't see MBT utilize it last turn. There is the Demeter. That is going to provide the buff to Equal Links. And now it can attack and take out the Jolton and even deal 1 spirit of damage. MBT with the Tsunami. He saved it. What a play by MBT, saving it from the last turn. I gotta say, I think Mario still makes the right call in hindsight, taking out the Zeus, because no matter what, that Tsunami was going to impact you. Here comes Spark It. That may end Mario's hopes and dreams. Spark It can Nexus off of that Mount Olympus onto the Spark It. He is going to be able to hand rip whatever hopes that Mario had left. And of course, you're going to see that Jolton take out the Equal Links and then ultimately Spark It able to deal the final blow. But he's got the Earthquake as well. MBT throws his head back. He gets his first W of the season as he's going to be able to pounce forward with his Thunder Nexus deck. Spark It. Massive, massive game plan there. We didn't get to see Funglow, Bronze Glow. I'm a little sad about that one, but that was a really, really epic clash. We saw the board flip a few times there. Some really great plays there, but ultimately MBT had more life and more spirits at the end to make a big play to flip that board and take the win. Elestriad.com for all the standings and everything else. I'll see you guys tomorrow for another clash.